Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to another session of Elombah Television tonight. It's another in our series of interviews of those aspiring to be the next governor of Anambra State. Our guest tonight is Colonel Geoffrey Onyejegbu, retired, I guess, APC Governorship Aspirant for Anambra State. Colonel, you are welcome to our program, and then please tell us the correct way to address you.
Well, I am Colonel Architect Geoffrey Onyejegbu, PhD. I am an APC aspirant, frontline aspirant in Anambra State.
All right, you have kindly sent your CV through my friend, Okelo. But please, can you tell our listeners about yourself?
Okay, Colonel Architect Geoffrey Onyejegbu was born in a little town called Ichi in APC local government area of Anambra State, from Anambra South Senatorial Zone. Colonel Onyejegbu served the Nigerian Army for 32 years, and in the course of these 32 years, was the military attaché of this country in Washington, D.C. I also commanded the brigade in Mokola and was acting general officer commanding GOC of 2 Division, Nigerian Army. I retired in 2008 and have been in active politics since then.
I've been intrigued by your military career, so I will ask you some questions. I've looked at your CV, and I noted that you joined the Nigerian Defense Academy in what year, sir?
I joined the Nigerian Defense Academy 3rd July 1977.
And for how long were you in the military?
Like I said, 32 years.
32 years. And you achieved what rank before retirement?
Well, I was a redneck. I sat on a brigadier general seat, commanding substantively, and was on a major general seat on acting basis as the GOC of 2 Division.
And 2 Division is where? Some of us are novice. 2 Division is where?
2 Division is in Odogbo, Ibadan. Then Engineer Brigade that I commanded substantially is in Mokola, also in Ibadan.
All right. Okay, let's talk about yourself. I will be happy to invite you back to talk about the military, which I'm always intrigued by the way the military officers behave. But let's go to your politics. Where did you have your primary school, please?
I had my primary school in St. James Anglican School in Ichi.
All right, I hope that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you had your primary school, and you were telling us where you attended your primary school, sir.
Yes, at Anglican Primary School in Ichi.
Let me pause the recording. So, okay, so you had your primary school in Ichi, and your secondary school where?
I started from Nnewi High School and ended up in Nigerian secondary school in also Nnewi, later called National Secondary School.
Okay.
Or better, Nkemwafo.
Okay. I wanted this one to be resounding because I also attended Nnewi High School, so I'm happy to hear that.
So your old boy is going to be the next governor.
Right. If an old boy because the next governor, you must say, now you're at Anambra State now. Okay, so after your secondary school, you moved on to where, please?
After my secondary school, I had a stint in the bank, and that was Standard Bank of the old, now First Bank of Nigeria.
Okay.
It was while working in the bank as a cashier, clerk, and cashier that I got the lead way to Nigerian Defense Academy. I had always admired the soldier because Nnewi High School, at the end of the Civil War, half of it was serving as the accommodation for the federals, the federal troops. And the other half was for the big village boys that had no shoes on their leg, and which I was one of them. So while these soldiers come out to do their parade, and they are very well ironed L&K uniforms, starched with line get-offs, I got intrigued, and there was like, I would like to be one of them someday. So when I finished my secondary school, as I used to be, I had a senior brother who was working with Nigerian Agric Bank in Kaduna. I joined him, and he helped to get me a job at the Standard Bank of the time. And then if I was left to join the army, that was just my first choice of career, I would have ended up in Depot, Zaria, and would have joined as a recruit. But it was while serving in the bank that some young men addressed so smartly, and I looked at them, they look about my age, not too much, older than me. And immediately after serving them, I followed them. Please, where are you people from? They said, we're from the Nigerian Defense Academy. I've never heard about Nigerian Defense Academy. I said, what people do that? They say, we're cadets. I've been trained to be an officer. I said, what qualification do you do? Say, just good school start. I said, eh? And that was it. Boom. Immediately I got balanced my accounts of the day. That time there is no computer. What we use is adding machine. Okay, you just put chaka chaka, you draw chaka chaka, how we do our balancing. Immediately I just balanced, I rushed off to Defense Academy to join them and get more information on how to become a cadet. And as God will have it, one attempt was enough to do it. Even though they told me at the time, oh, people do up to 6, 7 times to get in here. But I just did mine in just the very first attempt.
All right. Now, after you retired in 2008, you said, sir. Mm-hmm. Since then, you've been active in politics.
Yes.
Starting with which political party?
I ran with CPM as the governor in 2010, Community Party of Nigeria. After that, I joined APGA, and then was the National Convention chairman of APGA in 2012. I also directed the campaign of Dr. Chike Obidigbo Quest, his campaign to be the executive governor of Anambra State. I was the DG. And then from there, we all moved into APC when APC was formed. And I also directed his campaign, his second quest, to run Anambra State as a governor. After that, those 2 attempts, I ran for Senate in 2019.
Under APGA, sir?
Under APC.
Okay, you ran for, okay, in what year did you join APC, please?
I joined it at formation. I said after 2012, 2013 election in APGA that I directed, okay, we all joined APC at the formation stage. And then I also directed his request again in APC at 2017 election. In 2019 election, I was an aspirant did everything that I think I was close to victory. But for the fact that the leadership of the party at the time, in their own wisdom, decided to give automatic tickets to the 57 or so sitting senators we had at the time. And then being an establishment man, being a true party man, I decided not to push it further. I accepted it, did in my time, and had some understanding with the man I yielded to, that he will support me whenever I come out to run for governor. And I'm talking about distinguished Senator Anambra at the time. So after that, I ran for the National Working Committee position of a national auditor. It wasn't, we all consensuously now decided that all Chukuma should go, except for one or two who said they must go, and then through the ballots. Then this time, I'm running for governor, and I'm running with all the steam I have in me, because I think I have what Anambra needs at this time.
All right. Before we move into your program, how do you see the chances of APC in Anambra State to win this governorship contest?
No other party is as well positioned as APC. First, we are looking at a party that has done what no other party has done in that state. The second Niger bridge, we are the most beneficial of that infrastructure. Then, when you leave the second Niger bridge, with the wonderful interchange that is happening at Obosi, in fact, it is mind-boggling if you are at that interchange and see the quantum of Julius Berger machine at the construction site. You see the quantum of earth movement and dislocation and placement being done by Julius Berger. As an Anambra man, you will feel very fulfilled that this state has gotten a share of the oil money.
But a lot of people will still argue that APC is not popular in the Southeast, and therefore it will be difficult for them to win Anambra State. What do you think?
I hope we should be able to discern from the what actually reality is. You see, I agree with those who disagree without knowledge that it is that reality never exists, but perception is everything. They have been able to do through social constructs, all right? Been able to convince our people through propaganda that APC is a northern or western party, that no one will party in Kevin Kaba. But I want to tell you that the truth of the matter is that as it is unraveling now, even as at today, that they've now begun to see that there's a lot of mindset research that needed to be done. And then I was just about leading us to that when we leave what is happening about Second Niger Bridge and look at what has happened in the seaport, the river ports in Onitsha, okay? Look at what has happened in the Michael Ombara Airport in Airport in Enugu. Look at what has happened with the Federal Expressway that is from Odumodi Junction in Omonia to Oka. Look at what has happened at Orasi Bridge, the Oba Okigwe Road, the entire gamut of infrastructures in Anambra State. I don't want to tell you about the Zik Mausoleum that was abandoned for 16 years, but realized by APC in 2017. Okay, let us do the mindset reset of our people after the primaries. Because if you're going to come to campaign, you must show me what you're campaigning for. All right? You must tell us in 16 years of PDP what you have been able to do.
All right, sir. All right, thank you very much, sir. If we can now go into your program, what do you think is the most important problem facing Anambra today that needed to be solved as soon as possible?
Insecurity. First, insecurity. Second, insecurity. Third, infrastructure.
And what do you plan to do about insecurity?
These two things are fixed.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
If these two things, I said first is insecurity, I said second is insecurity, then you notice that in third position is infrastructure.
So what do you plan to do about insecurity?
Insecurity, I am going to deploy kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to solve the problems. You see, it is not every security problem you put foot on the ground. No, not every one of them. Most security problems can be solved through an indirect approach. If I begin to lay it out here, security thing, you have to be very, very careful when it's being discussed. But I will touch the surface a bit. You see, you have the leadership, the Ndigwes, the Obis. You also have the faith-based leadership, our bishops, all right? And then you have the opinion pullers, the Emeka Anyokos of this society. You understand? We must, through an indirect approach, address the issue that one of them is the perception of marginalization. In truth, there are places we need to get things we haven't gotten. We have to find a way to address those things so that we get those things. I tell you, for one, there is nothing you will tell Anambra that in 2023, an Igbo man will not be the president of this country. So if we even begin to understand that it is really going to serve us better if equity comes to play, if justice comes to play, that we as Indian Anambra should look forward to 2023 when Onyegbu will be the president of this country. I think that will go a long way to assuage the feelings of marginalization, to assuage the feelings of being left out, to assuage the feelings of being outside the gap. I believe that because of 2023 and the fact that you can't watch a live match by being outside the walls of the stadium, you have to get into the main ball of the stadium to watch a live match.
All right. Okay. You also mentioned about infrastructure. So you believe that Anambra is suffering from infrastructural deficit?
Grossly.
Have you conducted the research to find out exactly?
Yes, but before I talk about infrastructure deficit in Anambra State, I want to commend all the governors we had in the past. You see, they have done to their level of understanding what we consider up until the latest governor in Ebonyi. Anambra State was the best state with infrastructure in the Southeast. But I will tell you, because I've been around and I'm doing projects across the entire Southeast region,
1 second. If you can unmute yourself, sir. Right, go ahead. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Are you okay with me now?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Now, what the past governors have been able to do is to link all the villages and towns with single lane road all over. I am coming to dualize most of the arterials routes. I am coming to put overhead bridges at most of the nodal points that get locked down, especially at the festival time. We're talking about Eke Ubuku, we're talking about Afon Node, we're talking about Oyago Abagan, and a host of others that gets Newu Triangle, that gets locked down once our people are back home at festival time. And even on some, what I'm going to do is I'll get a team of QS very quickly and estate surveyors to do a census of all those buildings that are built, that are constructing the roads, making the passage very, very difficult in all these nodal points I've mentioned. They'll take inventories of all of them, and then they'll come out with a valuation of all of them. And I will pay compensation and have all of them removed, okay, and have them redesigned to where some will be going under the bridge, some will be going over those going under the bridge. A new modern society, because you see, our villages and towns grew organically. Those organic growth has to now be renewed in what we call urban renewal. You understand? That is where we are. Okay, to come and say, hey, this time around, connecting these arterial roads that will be 4 lanes to 6 lanes, depending as the case may be, will be bridges, flyover bridges. As a matter of fact, I think each time I discuss this, people get scared. They're like, where are you going to get the money? But I can tell you, if Umahi can do what he's doing in Ebonyi, I, as a very young man, served in Nkwego barracks in the 80s, early 80s, 80, 81, 82. And I know Abakaliki in and out at that 2021, 2021. I had projects in Uburo Hazai, where he's actually from. A project in Izambo, you know, close to the capital in Abakaliki there. And I can't imagine seeing flyover bridges in Uburo Hazai. I can't imagine the number of flyover bridges in Speradio Junction. That used to just be a very laid-back single lane area. So if that gentleman governor, I don't know him from Adams anyway. His senior brother was commanding a battalion when I was acting GOC of a division. So served under that area of responsibility. He's the one that I know. But what he has done in Ebonyi and Abakaliki is wonderful. And I think it's about time we replicate it all over the Southeast.
It's actually interesting, sir, and that you talked about urban renewal. This is an area where not many people have actually touched on. You rightly pointed out that most of our cities grew organically, so most of them are not planned. And many people have also commented that Awka has remained, in quote, a glorified local government headquarters. How are you able to introduce order and decency into the major urban towns of Onitsha, Nnewi, Awka, Ekwulobia, and so on? Is that within your plan?
It's within that urban renewal set. As a matter of fact, within the years I was serving in Anambra as the governor, Awka will have everything that a modern city will have. I am a golfer. I tour cities playing golf. If I tell you the story of what golf can do to a modern city, what investment golf can bring, you understand? In fact, you can. Well, even after reading it, you must visit the place to convince yourself that you will invest. And one of the most things that take people to visit places by way of tourism is golfing. There is none in Awka. We should start with one to bring in investors. Then this urban renewal is that the entire city will have to be replanned and modernized. The entire Awka city being the capital. You see, people see you from your capital. You understand? Then Nnewi in particular, because of the enormous energy of commerce and industries that town possesses, will have to completely be transformed by way of renewal. I am happy about the seaport. I am happy about the cargo airport that is coming. Wherever Obiano stops in that, I will very quickly complete, in order that our people, that main thing that is commerce that they are known for. By the way, when I talk about my skill sets, I said there are 5 unique skill sets I am bringing on board for APC to win the election. And one of those skill sets is that I was a trader, doing buy and sell. Gabriel Chukuma, I will buy from him and sell at Idumota. Then from there, I graduated to importing electronics in Alaba. The likes of Grand Square, Obiore Monedem, then Sign, then Isoka for them, Ike God them. Were all my contemporaries when I was having a shop at Alaba H104. So these are things that are so germane to our people that I am not only just a military man who had security experience and knowledge. I also as a technocrat, was a diplomat, and of course the trader, the trader in every Igbo man.
All right. One question I've always asked my guests on this program is the problem of internally generated revenue, IGR. You have a very ambitious infrastructural development program. And you've also observed that people also ask you the question of where do you get the funds from? How do you get the funds to prosecute your programs? So I ask again, how do you plan to develop IGR in Anambra State without depending so much on federal allocation?
You see, that is why I keep wondering why any governor in Anambra State should borrow money. That is why I keep wondering why any governor in Anambra State should go cap in hand waiting for federal allocation. When you have Nnewi, when you have Onitsha, just these two, is enough when you manage the internally generated revenue. Enough to move our capita to among the first three in Nigeria, is enough to move our GDP among the first three in Nigeria. Mind you, when you call out Lagos, is it still in the Anambra that are in Lagos that is making that state what it is when it comes to GDP and per capita income of that state, or putting it in #1 position? So why wouldn't the Anambra and only Anambra thinks home? So why wouldn't the effect of that there thinking home be rubbed off in our IGR? I am not, you see, when they say security votes, when I come as a security man, I'm enough security for the state. You understand? Because if that is where they have the leakages, you understand, I will know how to block it. So I will have an excellent security outfit and yet have so much savings for my infrastructural development, outstanding infrastructural development.
Still on IGR, do you have a figure of how much Anambra generates at the moment?
You know, that has always been for the government, not from only this government, even the past one. It's been a very touchy issue that whatever figure they give you, don't take it to any bank. You understand? But at least, being a trader myself, I know what commerce, I know the effect of commerce in that state. So if you're asking me if I have an idea, I will tell you that even from my perception, that we should have more than enough. We have to look elsewhere for funding. I mean, the administration now and the one in the past, it's not anything you can take to any bank. So just let's leave it at that. Just know that I know that I will have enough funding from the state for all my programs.
All right, to our listeners again, our guest tonight is Colonel Geoffrey Onyejegbu, an APC Governorship Aspirant in Anambra State. In the next few minutes, we'll start taking questions, so get ready with your questions. I'll start calling you in the next 6 minutes. Right, my next question now, sir, will be, it has been reported that Anambra has a very high rate of male school dropout, especially after maybe JS3 or SS3. How do you intend to tackle that problem to help the common Anambra male child? You'll notice more of the male child, to keep them focused on education without striving so much for quick money?
You know, the truth of the matter is that this model that is very unique, which even made the UN do a study on, this boyhood, the boy servant thing, it's only a wonderful model we created ourselves without even knowing that we've done something so wonderfully well for ourselves. If you look at the 6334, the 6334 education system, a child that is very fast, a male child that is very fast, will be finishing at the age of 16, 17, 18. You understand? Even up with university education. So we will do everything possible not to kill the novel thing in this Eba boy that it's only indigenous to Onyegbu.
But the Igbo boy system is fading out now, isn't it? It's fading out.
No, I am coming. I'm leading to something.
Okay.
The Igbo boy that is very unique to us. We will now encourage finish your first degree, Igbo boy. We don't want it to die, but we want to back it with education up, so that nobody will tell you any nonsense in any ministry, in any security agency outfit. You understand? If you are educated, you know what you are talking. You are not just a trader, but you're also very well learned. So we must find a way to keep Igbo boy. Manobrozi, it will not be the one that will start from age 12, 13. That is after 633, 63 or 633. Yeah, okay. We will take it to up to at least 6334. I think
but so if I may chip in here, I remember when I finished secondary school, there was so much pressure on me not to go further, not to further my education, but to go into trading immediately, because most of our family members and then they win. Now the issue becomes, one of the things I was told is that, Ebuka, look around you now. How many people do you see that went to school are having a very good job? But look around you, all the people who went into trading are all millionaires. So why would you waste your time going into school? So how would you, if there is no job, how would you create jobs for them so that they will find going to academics attractive?
See, I had always said that a man that must succeed in life must be a multi-skilled person. A man that will have his fingers in so many things. Use me as an example. I have a PhD. I have about 3 master's degrees. I went to the 3 premier universities in Nigeria. University of Nigeria, Enugu campus. I went to ABU. I went to UI. You understand? Now, plus the University of Things, I went in the US. Now, I am here still telling you that I was a trader. You understand? I was a buy and sell man. I don't know if you are getting to something. Plus that, I was a soldier for 32 years. Excuse me, if I say that I will, because I will have to, as a governor, do a lot of mentoring, you understand, to our parents, to our children, that it's still possible for you to get boy after you even have a first degree or master's degree. You understand? Because it's a very unique thing. We created, the UN was very jealous. They wanted to know, how did this people come up with this idea?
All right, so let me ask my last question before I allow people to ask their own. You know, when we discussed about infrastructure, our mind always went to roads. But I remember when P2B was the governor, I visited, they took me around a lot of infrastructural problems in Anambra State. And I noticed that our hospitals, many of them are very dilapidated. And some local governments don't even have a general hospital. Some of our schools, the infrastructure is poor. So are we focusing so much on road projects to the neglect of health, schools, even markets and other infrastructure?
Well, you see, no. For me, I have a program that is very unique. Everything I want to do is novel and unique. On health, I want to have hospital and clinics on wheel. I think at the back room when we were having a chat, you heard when my brother was repeating what I had in the previous interview. You understand that I said that I'm going to create hospital on wheels. And how do I do that? I will buy, for a start, 105 brand new vehicles. I will have for each local government 5 of those vehicles. We have, by the way, 21 local governments. Now, the first vehicle will be a surgery theater, small surgical theater on wheel. The second one will have pharmacy on wheels. The third one, all right, of services. The fourth and fifth might be administrative, one ambulance and then one administrative vehicle. How are they to operate? They will be on in Ozobo. You will have those 5 vehicles deployed. Just a call from any of the either Ichi or Ifite, Ozobo, or Ihembos. We have 12 wards. Any of the 12 wards, just a call. Okay, that one break is convulsing, that needs an immediate attention. Those vehicles will move. You will ask me now, how are we going to maintain these vehicles? How are you going to employ and equip this vehicle? Because we are talking about infrastructure. P2B, if you may recall, since you mentioned this name, did in his own infrastructure what he had as ANITs. Okay, in his ANITs, he took care of all sectors at the same time. All right, everybody will come with his approach, but me, I had identified that every of the departments we have, like health, I'm going to come with something that is unique. All those vehicles, a logbook will be maintained for them. We used to have what is called MT motor transport yard, in the military. Each vehicle has a file, a logbook, the amount of AGO, the amount of PMS, that's that uses engine oil, then the logs of where the vehicle traveled to, the log of when the brake shoes and brakes will be replaced. I just hope that by the time I have all that in place and employ all the hands, and then tie this on wheel with our primary health, because we have the primary health and secondary health before teaching hospital. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, it is something that I have seen where it worked outside this country, and I took a lot of notes that this will help our people. We are in 21st century and we should live like 21st century people.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Colonel Geoffrey Onyejegbu.
Colonel Actor Geoffrey Onyejegbu.
Okay.
I'm an architect, I'm an engineer.
Oh, okay. I can see you are very multi-skilled. All right, Colonel Architect Geoffrey Onyejegbu. Thank you very much, APC Governorship Aspirant, Anambra State. Let's take the first question from Conrad Sani, please. Sani, you can ask your question, please.
Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. I am Conrad Sani Said Al-Tukri. My question to His Excellency is, I have like 2 to 3 questions. And the first one goes like this. How is His Excellency going to manage the IPOB stroke secessionist agitations in Anambra State, given a threat to national unity? That's my first question. Second,
very, very, very simple. You understand? There is this thing called SCR, social constructed reality. And there's another one / perception. You see, IPOB, I will deal with IPOB issue through a back door. I will mark my word, I will deal with the IPOB issue through a back door. When I was talking about non-kinetic approach, it is not something I will discuss there, but I can tell you that IPOB issue, the way I will handle it, and by the time 2023 is over, IPOB will no longer be a problem, and the secession will no longer be a problem in this country.
Thank you very much, sir. Secondly, how can you guarantee the safety of lives of other non-indigenous citizens residing in Anambra State, just like the Hausa people that and the Fulanis who are looked upon as terrorists? Meanwhile, not all of them are criminals or terrorists. How can their lives be, the safety of their lives be guaranteed? This is my second question.
It is very simple. the fact that I am a very federal man in nature, I have interfaced with every tribe in Nigeria, from T to Yoruba to Epi to Hausa to Fulani to all manner of tribes. It's very easy for me to deal with. You understand? I have told you by the time I handle the perception issue, okay, most of the problem will go down. Then through the backdoor approach, you understand, most of the problem will go down. But I will deal with any criminal, you understand. If you are not supposed to carry AK-47 and you have one, Mr. President has said, shoot aside, you will be shot.
Sir.
You will be shot, you understand. But genuine business people of all, in fact, we will encourage most of them because we discovered that as a people, we are diaspora people. We are the people who move out of our place more. So therefore, we must welcome those who will come to our place more so that we'll be welcome wherever we are found. So we must learn how to be very hospitable to those who manage to come to stay in our abode because of our diaspora nature. Okay. So I can assure you, under my watch, every Nigerian will be happy in Anambra State. But if you're a criminal element, my friend, I will not waste time.
So finally, sir, what are the chances of youth participation in your administration, given that youth are the leaders of tomorrow? So what will be the level of their participation in your administration? Thank you very much.
I will take this. This is a very key question. I will take it with what program do you have for youth? You see, I am going to have a pseudo fourth tier of government called the Town Union Government, TUG. In my TUG, the President General of every town union will just be like the governor of that town union. I am going to make sure that I fund the town union to where they will have departments and, you know, kind of ministries like you find in the state. There, every President General must give us capture all the youths found in their town. All these youths, I am going to engage them to a productive meal ticket and then a life that will be upwardly progressive. If you are at the level of JS3 and want to continue to SS3, you must be doing something until you continue. If you finish from SS3 and waiting for university education, you must be doing something. No youth will be idle in Anambra State. And it is through the town union president generals that will capture all of them and then put them in a program. We are going to create camps, agricultural camps. Some call it agri-campus. But my own will be agri-camps. Everybody must be producing something and be earning something. Because, you know, Sani, when a man has not had his breakfast and is not sure when his lunch is or where his lunch is coming from, that young man will be given to crime. So we must have to have a program of engagement that will keep them out of trouble.
Thank you very much, sir. Mazi HTM Okoye. Thank you very much, Comrade Sani, for your questions. Mazi HTM Okoye, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dr. Onyejegbu, for coming to. And this is Mazi HTM Okoye. I'm from Ukulu, Tunukofia local government, but I live here in the United Kingdom. My question has 3 parts to it. The first one is, do you think it is necessary to have a standard in which to judge your administration if elected?
Yes.
What is that standard?
The standard is the level of insecurity in the state, one. The other standard is this infrastructure in various areas. What were they before I came in? And where are they at any time? Like milestone. This is your first 100 days. What have you done in this and that? This is your first year. This is your second year. All those milestones will be, you know, our people said, whatever you have in your hand, you don't need that lens you have in your eye to look at it. Your naked eye will see it. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Whatever that you are able to achieve, people will talk about it. So if you don't achieve anything, if you are not achieving anything, they will also tell you, my friend, you told us A, B, C, D. Now we haven't seen A. So where is the C? Where is B, C, D? When we haven't seen A.
Thank you. The next question
Anyway,
is.
let me tell you, Ukuru is a town that I sleep most often, Anambra State. You may want to know why. I have a very good friend there, Wakibia. And then your present Igwe.
Okay. The next question is about involvement and participation in politics, because as it seems, our people don't really trust our leaders. There is this gap of trust. That's why our people don't take interest in politics, which affects them. How would you go about, bringing our people in to take interest in politics, to take interest in what affects them?
It is very simple. Okay, I am a soldier. You understand? The first thing a soldier lives on is trust. The fact that the man behind him is having a live bullet, is not going to put it to his brain and shoot because he trusts him as his leader. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. What I will do, being a man who has been in military leadership for 32 years, will make people, in fact, they said politics is horrible, it's not good, it is horrible and not good because of the kind of caliber of people we have involved that are involved in our leadership. But what I'm bringing on board will change that whole perception. Because, like I keep saying, reality never exists. There's nothing like reality. It's only perception that is everything. So if a Colonel Geoffrey Onyejegbu, an architect and engineer, you understand, comes into the leadership of Anambra State, and then move people to or from what he achieved, convince people that, please, people who are of this class and caliber should be leading the state when Colonel Geoffrey Onyejegbu is gone, then that trust is already built.
Okay, what do you think of the local government system? Do you think is in its present state is okay, or what are you going to do about it to make sure our local government system is functional or functions the way it should function?
Our local government system as it is now is not existing. It is not existing at all. Just take ordinary drainages that either the state have done or the federal did that pass through the local government. The amount of weed and sand that blocks the drainage, you'll be wondering, is government happening here at all? That is why I am saying that beyond or below the local government functioning, that I want to have a fourth government. I cannot have a town that will not clear the debris or the block channels of what had been already done for that town. I cannot have a local government that will not be able to, small pothole, will not be able to get it back into place. No. it's not going to be in my government. I am considering doing an election as soon as it is practically possible. You understand? So that one, the people will start feeling government at the base, at the grassroots level. Because if local government is not performing, then I can tell you the people will not feel the government. You cannot, if I'm only sitting in Oka as governor, you understand? I am a local government. How do they get the effect of governance? They will have to wait for me to come from Oka? No. The local government chairman in IML will be held responsible if government is not happening there. So I'm going to empower him enough to make sure that he gives the people governance.
Okay, the last question is, what is your overview vision for Anambra State for the next 5 to 10 years if elected?
Anambra vision, is that what I heard you say?
Yes, the vision you have for Anambra State for the next 5 to 10 years if elected.
The next 5 to 10 years, Anambra will be almost looking like Singapore. In the next 5 to 10 years, Anambra State, with this river seaport we have, with the airport that is coming on stream, will almost be turned into a first world state.
Thank you very much, sir. Colonel Architect Geoffrey Onyejegbu. Our listeners should note that you hold a lot of postgraduate degrees. I've just looked them up again. There are so many. But let's call on Dr. Ane, the hygienist, to ask his question.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, everyone in the house. Thank you, sir, Your Excellency, for making yourself available to interface with us.
I am not
really
seeing the face of moderator. I'm not seeing the face of my guest.
I think where he is very, very dark. Dr. Hygienist.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, I'm on transit. I just left office now to home.
Okay.
But because of the importance of the guest, yeah. So, sir.
We do the audio. We do the audio.
All right. Thank you, sir, for that.
Okay, fine.
All right. So, thank you, sir. I will start with what I consider for myself a simple question again. And that question is, sir, number one, how flexible do you think you are as a person? May I just give you a little insight on why I choose to ask you this first question? You've said a lot of things here that the great models of our modern time approaches towards leadership. So I want to ask, how flexible are you as a person? That's number one question. I don't know if you would like to take on my question, and maybe because Comrade Sani actually has taken the aspect of youth that I wanted to ask. But as a health person, there is one thing that is left. I didn't hear you say, and I would like to have your opinion on that, because because I know you are many that are trying to aspire for this, but eventually one person must win. And that question is, Anambra State is one of the highest out-of-pocket payments for health in Nigeria. Nigerian statistics for out-of-pocket payment stand at 72% for now, which is very high. And the expected, at least, is supposed to be around 25, but we are 72. And Anambra is not an exception. So what do you think in your mind will reduce this out-of-pocket expenditure for our residents in Anambra State, and in turn removing catastrophic health expenditure for all Anambrans, and in fact those that are dwelling in that state? Yes, that is that.
Let's take these two first, so that our guest will be, unless he's taking notes, I will allow you to ask your next question.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, your first question is flexibility.
Yeah.
How flexible is Colonel Geoff Onyejegbu? Geoff Onyejegbu is a team player. That is the bedrock of flexibility. If you ask my colleagues aspirants, you will get that from them. I am a complete team player, and you can't be inflexible and be a team player. It's not possible. You understand? So every other thing about flexibility, I think I'll give myself a good score on that. Now, the main question you ask is out of pocket expenditure on health. That the index is as much as 72%, which is very high. The expected norm is about 25% out of pocket expenditure. Let me say that if you had listened to when I made a presentation on the wheel hospital public clinics and how I'm going to run it and how I'm going to fund it, you will now know that after like the first 100 days in office, that 72% would have crashed to below 25%. So that's just how I intend addressing that.
Okay, Dr. Hyginus, what's your last question?
Okay, sir. Thank you for the response, and thank you, moderator, for giving me yet another opportunity. Now, our guest, who, by the grace of God, may be the incoming governor of Anambra State, is coming also from a military background, and when he was asked what are the major challenges of the state, he said insecurity number one, insecurity number two. And if I heard him correctly, I heard him indeed mention about kinetic and non-kinetic approach, though he was able to try to explain the non-kinetic using the imperative aspect of moral values that's obtainable in our place. But my question still is, yes, insecurity is a problem. Do you think that even the so-called IPOB being a threat to national security, which for me as an individual is not, but I just want to ask you this direct question now. Based on that, do you think that good leadership in terms of harnessing the potentials of youth, infrastructure, as you said, development, could be a very big factor that may have reduced or even eliminate insecurity in the states?
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. I think, Hyginus, you have answered this question for me. My thought aligns with your thought on this. Okay, but just to add, or by way of adumbration, that equity and justice will take care of what is left. All your thesis, all your presentation is on good governance. And I now add equity and justice.
Are you muted? Hello?
Our aspirant.
Are you okay? You are finished. I thought that you are still answering the question. All right.
Yes, I am back. I am back because I signed off when I left the mall. I'm back home now. So I know I've met some of his.
I am losing you guys.
Yeah, Mr. Afford American, please go ahead and ask your question. Because I wanted to call Dr. Charles, but since you have started, let's hear from you before we go to take our last question from Dr. Charles already. Go ahead, please. You can unmute yourself. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, my question is about his opponents, other aspirants from other parties. Considering what we know in Anambra State or Igbo land, that APC is the northern state, and what have you done as an aspirant, not only to win the ticket, primary ticket, or if you get the primary ticket, how would you address the grassroots for them to understand your vision about Anambra State that is not about the party? Because we, the Igbos, always think of this is Igbo party. For example, Apoga, it's an Igbo party or Anambra party. How would you convince the grassroots? Because the grassroots are actually the voters. In a case where you get the ticket and to compete against Apoga aspirant or PDP aspirant, what have you done? What's your plan about that?
As to what we have done, we are organized down to 326 wards in Anambra. We are organized in all the local governments, 21 of them in Anambra. The 30 state constituencies, we have all our representatives. I'm talking about GOKO, Geoffrey Onyejegbu Campaign Organization. Now, as to what we will do when we have picked the ticket of the party, I think that most of the job will now be on mindset reset. I knew you were in the mall. You weren't here when I was talking about resetting our people's mindset. I knew you weren't here when I was talking about. I knew you were on the way going home when I was talking about reality never exists. Perception is everything.
That's right.
And our adversaries have done good job. I tell them good job in demarketing all Progressive Congress as a non-Igbo party. But the beautiful thing and wonderful thing is that the elites, the well-to-do, those who understand how to do big businesses, are not seeing it the same way the ordinary man in the street is seeing it. They are not. Immediately, the piles were up and driving down the seabed, the riverbed, across River Niger. One of the biggest transporters we have in Onitsha. Let me, for modesty, not mention his name here, was at a burial and he picked the microphone and said, "For seeing this second Niger bridge with my eyes, I will not only vote APC, after voting for APC, I will campaign for APC for others, openly to vote for APC." Now, you know, our people said that
that's right.
Which means that a city does not just grow like a creepy plant on the fence. That a city grows with the clout of their well-to-do persons. I think that once we are done with the primaries and the candidates emerge, some of them were just telling APC, give us a credible candidate that have an impeccable background and we will invest all our resources to have APC form the next government in Anambra State. This our net worth individuals will come out at that time because they've seen the goodness of big infrastructure, what it's going to do for them.
Thank you.
Most of them have businesses at center.
Thank you.
They know what it means to have the big infrastructures the APC is doing in Anambra State and in the Southeast generally. So they will be the opinion pillars, they will be the change agents, they will be the people that will now turn the story around.
All right, thank you, sir.
I have said that reality does not exist. Perception is everything.
Well, thank you, sir, so that we don't keep you here all night. I thank you, so we don't keep you here all night. Let's take the questions. Dr. Charles Omorodian, please, can you ask your question?
Good evening, Your Excellency, Dr. Architect Cornet Onyejegbu, retired. I'm Dr. Charles Omorodian. I'm based in the United Kingdom. I've been involved in almost all the urban renewal and regeneration program in East London areas.
Good.
So my question is twofold. Politicians usually promise things that sounds very pleasing to the ears, but often spectacularly fail on delivery. Your urban renewal plan seeks to embark on compulsory public purchases of private houses to make way for road dualization. Given your income from federal accounts is unlikely to increase during your tenure of office, what is the forecasted cost of this urban renewal cost? Where do you hope to raise the funds to ensure your plan is not just a phantasmagoria project? One question. Second question, sir. You have said you will provide us.
Let me deal with this first. Dr. Omorodian, right?
Yes, please.
I said earlier here that Nnewi alone and Onitsha added to Nnewi will give me enough resources for this urban renewal. And I said that any governor that knows his onions with these two cities do not have to look at Abuja. So I am not hoping to go and get the money from Federation account. When it comes, it will be a surplusage for me. And please, Doc, I am a soldier. I don't know how to say what I do not believe or what I don't know that is possible because I know the implication. I am not a regular politician. I am a technocrat because of my wide involvement in multi-discipline. I am not a regular politician. So I don't know how to solve as a problem. No. Being a soldier, if you like, put a gun on my head, I'll tell you, this is what I had promised to do, and this is what I'm doing. So I know that I have enough IGR base to execute my infrastructural urban renewal program. I have enough.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for those responses, but I will advise you cost them. My second question is, you have said that you will provide hospital on the wheel, what we call mobile clinic outfit here in UK. And you forecasted you're going to provide 5 vehicles, 25 local government, and which in my view, estimate as 21 local government. Yeah. And that, my rough calculation shows that that will be 105 vehicles.
I get that.
Yeah, this will comprise of 105 drivers, 105 medical doctors and paramedics, average 2 or 3 nurses per vehicle, roughly 420 staff. What is the cost of providing these services? Where will the money come from? How will you ensure that these new facilities that you are providing does not display the static hospital or make them obsolete as and when your program kicks off?
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Can you say all after 105 vehicles. That's where I got to.
All right.
Then you talk
You're
about
going to
105
have
doctors,
105 vehicles. You're going to have 105 vehicles, which is 5 multiplied by 21 local government. And you're going to have 105 medical personnel, doctors and paramedics. From my experience here in UK, each vehicle carries about 2 or 3 nurses or auxiliary staff. So in total, you're probably going to have roughly about 420 staff. My question therefore is, what is the cost of providing this service? Where is the money going to come from? How would you ensure that these new facilities does not display the hospital that is called the static hospital that is currently existing? Where are you going to get the doctors and the medical staff from?
All right, well, thank you very much. Let's allow our guests to answer the questions and then we proceed.
All right. I have, and I'll keep repeating, that when you have the political will, all these questions will be answered. And in any case, I wish you have an idea of how many medical doctors the colleges in Anambra State alone produce in a year, and how many of them that are looking for jobs. I wish you have an idea. But just to answer your question, my IGR alone, from my perception of the level of commerce and investments in Anambra State, will fund all that. How much is 105 vehicles? At most, if you put them at, say, I say 30 million, but you could get below that. If you put them at 30 million for 105 vehicle, I think you are talking about 3.1 billion or 3.2 billion naira. 3.2 billion naira for a health infrastructure, when I know that Anambra State IGR is as much as that in a month. Then in tandem, you go to the employment, and that is just that thing we're saying. You must create employment, you must create jobs. So when this is done, and then we employ the doctors, employ the nurses, employ the auxiliary staff, can't you see what we have done? I don't think that their salary in a year will take as much as 3.2 billion. Even if it does, it is only 2 months IGR. So you see the point I'm making? That we have enough, we generate enough in the state to take care of the state renewal, because we're renewing our state, whichever way you want to look at it.
Well, thank you very much. Our next question, Lord Switch Obiora, please. And that will be the last.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, everybody. It's quite unfortunate that I joined late, but I've actually been listening from other Igbo palliative measures before I joined in. However, let me salute the courage of Colonel Actor Geoffrey Geoffrey Onyejegbu. I hope that probably you may recognize me, but if not, in the course of this, I may wanted to introduce myself. Comrade Lord Switch Obiora. I happen to be from your hometown. However, I've been trying to follow up and catch most of the things that has actually been said. But to some extent, I would have said that Dr. Charles Omorodian has actually asked my question correct. Having known you, I know about integrity. I know about some of the utmost. I know, in fact, what you can do. But the issue is this. I have to say the fact. The issue is this. Do you believe that the party that you choose to run from or you choose to run with is something that Anambra State can accommodate with? 2, what gave you that confidence that, having seen what is happening in federal recently, could still give our people the chance to say that this is a party to identify with? 3, do you think that the bridge they cited is enough to convince our people that the project has actually been come to stay? That bridge that you cited alone? Because I was actually looking for other things to justify and accommodate that this actually is what APC stands for in Anambra State. Finally, sir, the issue here is not about the feelings, strong feelings, but strong commitment. We are talking about the money because it's easy to see it from the side track than where you get in. We are looking at the deficit that Anambra State has gone to. We are only emphasizing on the issue of this money. Where will you get the money to get this actualization if eventually that you get the seat you are talking about? Just like Dr. Omorodi asked, the issue of funds. In totality, finally, sir, is your soldier different from the Buhari old? When you said talk about it, I'm a soldier and integrity wise, that whatever I say, I do. Is your soldier different from that Buhari own? Because I know that most of the campaigns that they promised us then, I wouldn't know if your guess is good as mine. However, my name is Comrade Obiora Onoaga from Ichiberi, one day working. So I can get you. Elombah, that one.
That'll hit there.
Okay. Now listen, if you go 5 parallel questions, the party I chose to run, what is acceptability? Do you understand? Do I think that party will win the election in Anambra State? And I'm giving you a very big yes. Are you getting what I'm saying? It depends on the individual that is their candidate. If they get a credible candidate with a background that is impeccable, the mindset of our people will be resetted. Pure and simple.
Okay.
Second question is, or let me not take it in any order. You are asking about President Buhari. Oh, he promised, APC promised all this, and you are not getting them. Mind you, it depends on who is telling you what you're hearing. But I want to tell you, I, Geoffrey Onyejegbu, I am not President Buhari. Are you with me? There is always a difference between a father and a son. When you say, oh, if you remember that icon or vintage book of Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart, you will recall that Okonkwo is not one and same with Unoka. And yet they are father and son. Our president has done wonderfully well at the center in area of infrastructure. I know that it is because our people are not seeing the appointments, or we were told we are not being given enough appointments. And then they have their perception. But you have forgotten that even Anambra State is having 2 ministers. 2 ministers. You will say, oh, it is our constitutional right. Excuse me, the second minister is not in the constitution. Go and read the constitution back to cover to back. I've read it that way. What is in the constitution is 1 minister per each state. But he has given us 2. Oh, security sector, we don't have any appointment. Well, South is yes, but not for Igbo man, because the present CDS is an Igbo boy. He was my student, and I know. But he's not from Southeast. Take him. I am telling you that all these perceptions are socially created constructed. And that by the time we go into campaign, we're not campaigning yet. We're only asking the party, give us tickets, we'll deliver better.
Yeah.
By the time we emerge from the party, then the mindset reset will start. Because we'll back it with facts and figures. You said the second Niger bridge, whether we will come out of the present state. Please go and check again. The completion date is April 2022. By April 2022, motor will just be going one way on that bridge. People never believe when this present government said they are going to do it. And they're not going to do it when our sons and children will be indebted to be paying. We pay finish, they will be paying. No. They are going to do it like they did most other projects that you're not paying toll on. If we are going to pay toll, it will all be holistic, the whole Nigeria, not only on that second Niger bridge. So, I don't know, I think I've dealt with 3. Can you remind me quickly the other 2 of your questions?
No, I was actually saying that the other one has to do with that. I said that when somebody stands on the sideline, that is easy for one to see, to view from the side view than when you go. However, let me reappoint what I said on the Niger Bridge. I was saying, do you think that that second Niger Bridge is enough to justify what you postulated about what APC has done in Anambra State? Your postulation about what APC has done in Anambra State.
It wasn't only second Niger Bridge that I talked when I was laying the whole thing, the gamma contains APC.
You talk about Obosi roundabout.
No, I know. When I was talking about second Niger Bridge, I was talking about the interchange in Obosi.
Okay.
They are one thing. I talked about Odumod Junction to Oka. You can now fly, close your eyes. If you have an autopilot car, it will pilot you into Oka without taking you off the course. And the thickness of the asphalt and the base course is like this. Done by APC. I talked about from 9th mile to Oji, entering, coming down to Oka, done by APC. I talked about Oba up to Newi and beyond. Done.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay,
Lord Switch, let's not. I think we have now run the length of this interview. It's now 90 minutes. We've been here for 90 minutes now. So.
Charles, at times, you know that we go beyond this.
Yes.
Colonel is not going.
All right for you. I am here. I'm not.
Colonel is not going. Colonel is not complaining.
Okay, then.
At times, I used to be with this man even till midnight, so he doesn't complain. So the issue is this now. When you go to his palace, you can see him at even 1 p.m., the 1 a.m. So that one is not the problem. Now, Colonel, what I'm saying, when you talk about the issue of that now, I know I've actually canvassed about your integrity. But when you say that the father and son are different, or that the son is different from the father, are you saying that your current policy in Anambra State, if God permits that you win, will differ from the federal policy? If actually policy still be in power, then I mean you are Buhari's government.
Excuse me. Those are federal are doing their federal thing. I am going to do our state thing.
I mean APC policy. APC policy.
APC, by way of manifesto, has a key 6 key points. The first one is security. The second one is good governance. The third one is human capital development. The fourth one is land resources development. The fifth one is, the sixth one is foreign policy. Well, our foreign policy, that is government at the center. Now, if you look at this broad manifesto outline, what I'm going to do, I started with security. And I told you, because you mentioned kinetic, and meaning that you had me when I talked about security and non-kinetic approaches. Then good governance when a man has an integrity, I think he can deliver on his words. And once you deliver on your words, you have given good governance, right?
Okay.
The third one, human capital development. Everything I talked about our youth, about agri-camps, about, well, all the gamut of all that, we make a man have his breakfast and know where his lunch is coming. Is human capital development, right? Then the fourth one, our land resources. We will look at what is happening with all the costaris, rice and all that. Look at what is happening. In fact, it's not only land. Even the fact that our river port is coming on stream. Even the fact that we have a cargo airport wherever Governor Obiano stops. You understand? I will have to, because I know how to go to Guangzhou and then carry group age. You understand? Or cargo. My brother, the truth is that.
Okay, well, thank you very much, sir. Let's switch to advanced enough question. Thank you, Colonel Architect Geoffrey Onyejegbu. Thank you very much. For the wonderful time you have spent with us. I will say that you have received much more difficult questions than our previous aspirants on this forum. And thank you very much for kindly answering all of that. I said that before you leave, I will show our guests some of your qualifications. So here we are. Let me start. I've skipped the primary and secondary school, postgraduate University of Ibadan, postgraduate University of Phoenix, Arizona. Then after West African Certificate of Education, Nigerian Defense Academy, University of Ibadan, Certificate of Education, Bachelor of Science Honors in Architecture, Master of Science Architecture, Master of Science Strategic Studies, Director of Organizational Management. So, I don't know how you were able to create the time to run all these programs. So, my final question to you before you leave, sir, is what is the set of skills a governor in Anambra State most importantly needs? And please let me use the opportunity to remind our guests that we still have our 30-minute discussion when we finish, so don't forget. Okay, sir, if you become the governor, what do you think is the most important set of skills? Mark my words, I said Anambra governor, not just any governor, because Anambra, we know, is
Anambra governor
yes,
at this time needs a man with security set skill. Because security is the foundation of everything. You can't talk of economy thriving without having a secured environment. Anambra will also be blessed if the man happens to be a person that have trader scale, buying and selling. Anambra needs somebody that have diplomatic skills to know how to relate to center and get extra for the state. To know how to relate with organizations abroad and get freebies for the state. These are the three most unique skill sets any governor Abia at this time. Before security had a problem, but now it is most germane that's on the front burner. And without it, you can't do anything that is progressive.
We thank you. We thank you, Colonel Architect Geoffrey Onyejegbu, for spending more than 90 minutes and now going to 100 minutes in this interview. Thank you for creating the time out of a very busy schedule to be with us tonight. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Your television station is number one. Number one.